Hello, Parang High School. Hello, Grade 7 learners. It's me, Teacher Kim, and welcome for today's video lesson. Today, we are going to discuss the first module for 4th quarter, which is entitled Distinguishing the Features of Academic Writing. Before we go on to our discussion, let's find out first the following lesson objectives that we must meet at the end of the video lesson. First, define academic writing. Second, identify the different features of academic writing. Third, analyze the content and relevance of academic writing. Next, rewriting or rewrite sentences by using words that are formal and objective. And the last one, construct a 3-paragraph research activity applying the different features of academic writing. Let's now move on to our discussion. Before we discuss the different features of academic writing, let's find out first what is academic writing. Academic writing is a formal style of writing. Its general purpose is to present information in order to display facts and a clear understanding of a particular subject matter in a professional manner. In order for us to make sure that our ideas and arguments are communicated well, there are different features of academic writing that ensures that it is presented in a proper, clear, concise, and convincing way. Let's find out what are the examples of academic writing. I have few examples here. First, abstract, annotated bibliography, academic journal article, book report, conference paper, dissertation, essay, literary criticism, research paper, research proposal, textbook, and thesis. Let's now move on to the features of academic writing. The first one is formality. It is important to be formal in writing an essay, which means your tone should not sound casual or conversational. To make your writing formal, try to avoid using colloquial, slang, or idiomatic expressions. Second, choose expanded forms over contracted forms. Let us look at the following examples. Under colloquial, we have this list of words and phrases. Go, go up, let, need, tell, wrong, throw away, top-notch, a lot of. For formal, instead of saying the following list of words under colloquial, we say depart, increase, allow, request, inform, incorrect, discard, highly valuable, a great deal of. Let's now look at the sample sentence. Under colloquial, we have the sample sentence. With women, there is a lot of pressure to conform to a certain physical shape. Instead of using the phrase a lot of, to make it formal, we use with women, there is a great deal of pressure to conform to a certain physical shape. Now, let's move on to expanded forms over contracted forms. Contraction. Contraction is when two words are combined into one. Instead of omitting letters and replace it with an apostrophe, it is more formal to spell it out or use the expanded form. As you can see, instead of using the contracted forms doesn't, we use the expanded form does not. Can't to cannot, Dave to they have, it's to it is, will to we will, your to you are, isn't to is not, gonna to going to. Let's look at the following sample sentences. Under contracted form, we do not say the policy doesn't permit illegal dealings. To make our writing more formal, we use the expanded form. The policy does not permit illegal dealings. Let's now move on to the second feature of academic writing, which is objectivity. In general, academic writing is based on facts and evidence and is not affected by personal emotion. To make your essay or research paper convincing, you must use an unbiased style of writing. To maintain an objective tone in your writing, you should avoid the following: personal statement and judgment, and second, emotional language. For personal statement and judgment, you have to make sure that you avoid the use of personal pronouns you, I, and we. Instead of using personal pronouns, we use passive voice. Avoid phrases like I believe, I think, and I feel, because this may indicate biases. Let's look at the following examples. For poor example, I performed an experiment. For the improved example, the experiment was performed. So you change it to passive voice form. Second example, I believe that fast food contributes to obesity. Let's look at the improved example. In this paper, the effects of fast food consumption on obesity were presented in various studies. How about emotional language? For emotional language, we have to make sure that we avoid this for us not to show any bias, right? We have to include evidence to prove your point rather than using emotional language. Let's look at the following example. For poor example, it is unfortunate that many Filipinos do not have work these days. For improved example, based on the Philippine Statistics Authority data, about half or 48.2% of unemployed Filipinos are from ages 18 to 24. As you can see, instead of using emotional language, you used evidence or enough information to support your claim. The third feature of academic writing is precision. In academic writing, it is very important that it is precise. You have to make sure that there is sufficient information to avoid ambiguity. Ambiguity is a word or sentence that is not clear about the intention or meaning. Of course, we don't want to be misinterpreted or misunderstood, right? Since there are different interpretations from different listeners, it is very important that in academic writing, it is precise. For your writing to be precise, you have to use verbs that express exactly what you mean. So here are the list of most common verbs used in academic writing. You may take a screenshot of these words so that you'll be familiarized with them. Let's now move on to the last feature of academic writing, which is hedging. Hedging refers to how a writer expresses certainty or uncertainty. Often, in academic writing, a writer may not be sure of the claims that are being made in their subject area. Or perhaps, the ideas are good, but the evidence is not very strong. So using hedge words and phrases allows you to be academically cautious, to acknowledge the degrees of uncertainty in your statements and claims. Another word for hedging is cautious language. To avoid generalizations, we make use of the following. First, quantifying verbs. It is used to determine, indicate, or express the quantity of something. Examples: few, many, several, some, a lot of, enough, a bit, a little, and any. Number 2, adverbs of frequency. It describes how often an action happens. There are 6 main adverbs of frequency that we use in English, and these are always, usually or normally, often, sometimes, rarely, and never. Third, we can also make use of modals. Modals show possibility, intent, ability, or necessity. Because they are a type of auxiliary verb or helper verb, they're used with the main verb of the sentence. The most frequently used ones are can, may, might, could, should, would, will, must, and shall. Let's look at the following examples. Under quantifying verbs, number 1. Jeff went to many places regarding this project. The quantifying verb used is many. Number 2. I saw few people in the program. The quantifying verb used is few. Number 3. Lisa has much knowledge about this topic. The quantifying verb used is much. Now, let's move on to adverbs of frequency. Number 1. I usually shop for groceries on Saturday mornings. The adverbs of frequency used is usually. Number 2. He is often late for work. The adverbs of frequency used is often. Number 3. John always does his homework. The adverbs of frequency used is always. Now, let's move on to modals. Number 1. I can swim every Tuesday. The modal used is can. Number 2. It may rain tomorrow. The modal used is may. And number 3. You must study today. The modal used is must. For modals, I have additional examples here. Let's look at another sample sentence for modals. The pregnant woman will give birth to a baby girl. Another example as well. A recent climate change study has warned that Venice will be underwater by 2100 if the acceleration of global warming is not curbed. Now, let's practice. Rewrite the following sentences by using words that are formal and objective. Number 1. Carlo didn't submit his assignment. Number 2. Mike is gonna be here soon. Number 3. They'll attend the meeting tomorrow. Number 4. The patient got over his illness. And number 5. Anna can't reach the top shelf.